stop learning songs if you want to get better at guitar. Now, before anyone closes the video, throws their guitars across the room, or angrily types, "This guy hates music" in the comments, this is not what I mean. Learning songs is great. It's essential, not just great. It's one of the reasons that most of us picked up the instrument in the first place. I know I did when I was 14. But for a lot of players, especially those with limited amounts of practice time, learning songs has quietly become the thing that slowing their progress the most. And today I'd like to explain why. This comes up constantly with my students. Many of them are practicing regularly, learning new songs, finishing pieces, and yet still feel stuck with aspects of their playing like technique, timing, fretboard knowledge, improvisation, general understanding of theory and harmony, or even overall control. If that sounds familiar, then you know exactly who this video is for. And just so you know, early on, this channel right here is about understanding the guitar, not just copying shapes. If that's your kind of thing, subscribe. We go deep, we keep it practical as much as we can. Right, let's get into it. Why learning songs feels like progress, and sometimes it is. Learning songs feels productive because there's a very, very clear goal, there's a beginning and there's an end, and right there at the end you can say, I can play that. And that feels very, very satisfying. And it should be. Music isn't an academic exercise, it's meant to be performed, it's meant to be played. But here's the issue. Learning a song and improving your underlying skills are not the same thing. They overlap, but they're not identical. Whenever you learn a song, you're learning specific fingerings. You're learning them in a specific order, at a specific tempo, in a very, very specific musical context, which means that your improvement is often trapped inside that one container. You might even nail the solo parts, but still cannot improvise in the same key. You might be able to play the riff perfectly, but struggle with the same rhythm elsewhere. You didn't actually really learn the skill. You learned the route. It's like memorizing directions without understanding a map. Let's talk about them tabs for a moment. Alright, tabs are fine. They're efficient, they're convenient. This is how I first learned to play. When they got me a guitar, they bought me a book. It was called 5 of the Best, Metallica. There were 5 songs inside there. I learned to play with a tab. But tabs can easily turn music into random numbers happening on strings. And if that's all you're doing, your brain switches off. You're no longer asking, why am I playing this note? Why did they choose this chord? Why this particular rhythm? You're just following instructions. And that, my friend, is not musicianship, it's assembly. If you're going to learn a song, it becomes vastly more valuable when you ask, what key is this in? What is the harmonic movement or the harmonic rhythm? What scale choices are being implied and why? What techniques are actually being tested here? Even learning one section of a song, properly understood though, can teach you more than 10 songs memorized mechanically. Quick pause here. If you want more videos like this where we decode what's really happening on the guitar, hit subscribe, and in the comments tell me, are you mostly learning full songs or just the bits you like and are able to play? That answer actually says a lot about where you are as a player. Alright, back to it. Here's the truth for many players. If you only have 20 to 30 minutes a day to practice, spending all of that learning songs is often not the best use of that time. Actually, 20 or 30 minutes are not enough, but anyways, you get the point, because songs do not systematically build technique. They do not evenly address weaknesses, and they do not adapt to your problem areas. They're written for performance, not for your development. If your timing is shaky, for example, learning another song will not magically fix it. If your alternating picking is inconsistent, a new riff will not solve that either. It might hide the problem, but it will not remove it. When your time is limited, progress comes from targeted work. That means devoting practice time to things like timing and subdivision, actually knowing what the subdivisions are, how to sing them, how to play them. Fretboard awareness, being able to tell the notes or the intervals or chords on your guitar. Technical control, that goes without saying. Articulation, ear and hand connection. These are very transferable skills. Improve these and every song becomes easier, including the ones that you already know. And this is why many experienced players reach a point where they can learn songs much faster, adapt parts, improvise naturally, and it's not because they learned more songs, but because they invested their time in foundational abilities. How to use songs properly. Now, this is crucial. I'm not saying don't learn songs. The opposite, learn them. I'm just saying don't only learn songs. A far better approach is learn parts of songs. Extract ideas, analyze what's happening throughout the riff or the solo section or anything. Turn those little bits into exercises. A single phrase can teach you phrasing, timing, note choice, articulation, stuff like dynamics. Is he using legato here, or trills, or is he picking it? Why? All this kind of stuff. And technique, and that's real value. Songs are supposed to feed your practice, not replace your practice. Why students improve faster with structure? This is exactly where many players get stuck on their own. They're motivated, they're practicing, but they're guessing what matters most. With my students, the goal is always clarity. What to work on each week. We build a specific schedule for that particular week with specific goals like 1, 2, 3, 4. This is what you have to do at this specific tempo, etc., etc. And how, what to work on, why it matters to work on a particular subject, and how this subject connects to real music. And that way, songs stop being obstacles and start becoming proof that the fundamentals are working. So, instead of asking, what song should I learn next? Try asking, what skill would make all songs easier? That one question changes everything. For example, I've seen a dramatic improvement in the pace people learn songs if they know how to read rhythm. Songs are the reason why we love music. They're the reward, but skills are the engine. Build your engine properly and songs will stop feeling difficult or fragile or stressful. They just become music, and that's the goal.